Have you ever wondered what it feels like to be a three-star general at the peak of his glory, commanding the most feared troops and the son-in-law of the most powerful president in Indonesia, only for everything to crumble into pieces in a single night? His military career gone, his marriage ended, and he had to fly far away into exile in Jordan. Damn, if this were made into an action drama movie, the plot twist would be absolutely insane, right? Tonight, in my editing room, we are going to break down Prabowo Subianto's life journey fully and transparently. We will unpack his childhood as a political fugitive son traveling across Europe, his tactical proof in Kopassus, the deadly intrigue of the May 1998 tragedy, all the way to the conspiracies of military elite rivalries and his exile to Oman. Man, this is definitely the most intense chapter of history you have to watch until the end. So, sit back and let me explain everything so you can understand the true storyline of this fallen and risen Cendana prince.
Let us wind back time to October 17, 1951, in Jakarta. A baby named Prabowo Subianto was born to Sumitro Joyo Hadikusumo, a brilliant economist of the nation, and Dora Marie Sigar. But young Prabowo's life was nothing like that of typical elite children, bro. His father was involved in the PRRI Permesta movement, opposing President Sukarno's policies, which caused their family to be labeled political fugitives. As a result, young Prabowo had to live a nomadic life, moving from country to country, starting from Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, Zurich to London. He was educated at the American School in London, became fluent in French, Dutch, and German, and grew up in a strong Western intellectual environment. Wait, how could that happen? While kids his age in Jakarta were busy playing, he had to taste the bitterness of living in exile abroad. This childhood exile experience is often interpreted by observers as the root of his strong drive to prove his absolute loyalty to the motherland, while redeeming the rebel's son stigma attached to his family name. Now, what was shocking was when he decided to return to Indonesia. Instead of entering the comfortable world of business or academia abroad, Prabowo chose the hardest life path possible. In 1970, he boldly registered for Akabri Magelang to join the military. Crazy stuff, an elite kid who graduated in London choosing to be trained in the Tidar Valley, completely beyond reason. Many wondered why he made such a drastic decision just to prove his love for the country. How could a child who grew up in an elite London school choose the hardest life path in Indonesia, which was military education in Magelang? Was it luck, tradition, or a grand narrative intentionally designed from the start?
Entering the military, Prabowo's career skyrocketed like a rocket. Graduating from Akabri in 1974 in the same class as SBY, he immediately joined the elite Kopsanda unit, which later became Kopassus. He jumped straight into Operation Saroa in East Timor, where the death of his commander right before his eyes shaped his combat psychological side into a very tough one. Then, in 1983, a major event occurred. Prabowo married Siti Hediati Haryati, or also known as Titiek Suharto, the daughter of President Suharto. This marriage automatically solidified his position right inside the inner circle of the Cendana dynasty. His career soared even higher until its peak when he was appointed Commander General of Kopassus in 1995. The climax came when he led the Mapenduma hostage liberation operation in Papua in 1996, rescuing the Lawrence research team from the grip of the TPNBP-OPM. Damn, successfully executing a life-and-death mission in the Papuan jungle made his name world famous. But behind those brilliant achievements,
dark rumors began to circulate heavily within the military internal ranks. Some of his peers evaluated that his rapid promotions were inseparable from his status as the president's son-in-law, but his supporters strongly denied this, emphasizing that Prabowo had a tactical track record and battlefield courage that could not be taken lightly. Wait, why does this feel so familiar, like the debate between pure merit versus inner track? Do you guys recognize this phenomenon? This dynamic kept Prabowo's position constantly at the crossroads between admiration and suspicion from Jakarta's political elites. Was it his combat success that elevated his name, or was it his status as the president's son-in-law that opened the doors to power?
The year 1998 became the peak as well as the darkest point in Prabowo's life. A point that, as Punkstrad with the rank of lieutenant general, he held control over the most lethal strategic reserve force. But at the same time, the Asian financial crisis hit and sparked a wave of student demonstrations demanding reform. Tensions erupted after the Trisakti shooting on May 12th, followed by the May riots and the abduction of pro-democracy activists by Team Rose under Kopassus. When Suharto stepped down on May 21st, the political situation in Jakarta was truly on the brink of civil war between the factions of Armed Forces Commander General Wiranto, President Habibie, and Prabowo. My goodness, the palace situation back then was so reckless and intense, one wrong step could mean war between troops. Prabowo was accused of being involved in the abductions, but he firmly denied it, stating his actions were official service orders to secure the nation. He felt he was made a scapegoat for the collapse of the New Order regime. In public, two hot conspiracy theories circulated that were never proven legally. First, the silent coup attempt rumor, where Kostrad troop movements toward Jakarta were considered an attempt to seize power. Second, the alleged rivalry set up between Wiranto and Prabowo, intentionally played by foreign parties to weaken the military. Prabowo's side strongly rejected all these accusations, insisting troop movements were purely for national security. Seriously, man, being in the middle of an elite conflict vortex like that makes your head want to explode. Super complicated. This tragedy ultimately ended his military career abruptly amidst national political uncertainty. Was Prabowo executing orders to secure the state, or was he trapped in a political Cold War among Jakarta's military elites?
Augustus 1998 marked the end of his military service. The Officers' Honor Council, or DKP, chaired by General Subagio HS, examined Prabowo regarding alleged procedural violations in the activist abductions. The result was a recommendation for discharge from military service. Prabowo accepted that bitter decision with his head held high. At the same time, his life trial got heavier as his marriage with Titik Suharto also came to an end. Losing his military rank, political standing, and family all at once, Prabowo decided to fly to Amman, Jordan. There, he was warmly welcomed by Prince Abdullah II, his old friend from International Special Forces training. In that land of exile, he reinvented himself by switching gears to become a businessman. He built a paper business network through Kiani Kantas in East Kalimantan, palm oil and energy across Europe and the Middle East. Crazy stuff, going from a war general to an export-import businessman overnight. This man has a mind of steel. But his departure to Jordan was still criticized by detractors as dodging accountability, while supporters viewed it as a period of reflection. Public conspiracy theories even emerged, suggesting his departure was a facilitated exile, part of an unwritten deal with no elites to keep him from being dragged to human rights court. Of course, no official documents confirming this. I feel bad for him if you think about it, falling down only to be hit with endless political speculation. But it was in Amman that his financial foundation and mental maturity were rebuilt to pave his way home. How could a general who lost his military status, marriage, and political position overnight rise in a foreign land to design his return?
The early 2000s marked the return of the eagle to his homeland, but this time Prabowo did not come carrying weapons or wearing a military uniform. He returned as a successful, wealthy, and financially mature businessman. Understanding that he needed a grassroots mass base, he expanded into civil organizations and was successfully elected as General Chairman of HKTI, the Indonesian Farmers Harmonization Association. Through farmers and fishermen, Prabowo absorbed grassroots aspirations and rebuilt his public image. The climax happened in 2008 when he officially founded the Great Indonesia Movement Party, or Gerindra. This step became the foundation stone, marking the start of his electoral struggle on the national political stage. Now that is what I'm talking about. Rising from being a political victim to building his own party, true top-tier proof. History records that Prabowo fell from the peak of the military in 1998 and was exiled to Jordan. In your opinion, was that difficult period actually what forged his political maturity until he finally returned to the peak of power decades later? Write your thoughts in the comments section below. Do not forget to click the like, share, and subscribe buttons for this channel so we can keep bringing you deep and independent historical analysis. From HKTI chairman to 3 failed presidential candidacies to finally sitting as Minister of Defense and President of the Republic of Indonesia, Prabowo's comeback journey has just begun. Watch the continuation of his dramatic story in the next episode. See ya!